You know, I think giving back is a really important thing, and I just felt a sense that I had been blessed in so many ways in my life. And so I just had this innate gut feel that I wanted to give back in some way. JDRF was an organization that I was aware of for a very long time, and I think it was someone on my staff that nominated me for this award, and ultimately I was given the award back in 2001. It was the JDRF Living and Giving Award, the Dream Maker Living and Giving Award, and it was such a wonderful event, and I felt so very, very honored. And I've just loved what the organization has been doing in the meantime, because, I look at that often and see all of the benefits that have come about and the growth that's come about in the organization since those times. The reason I like continuing to give back is that, first of all, the entire magazine is based on giving to the community. It is my way of giving to the community something that I believe is very valuable and something that feeds the community in a lot of ways. In this case, it's feeding them information. But to me, building community has to do with supporting all the nonprofits. I think that every business person in this region needs to be involved in philanthropy. And as you know, we put out our annual Capital Region Cares publication, and I use that as a tool in every appointment I go to talk to CEOs and tell them why they need to be involved in philanthropy, why they need to give back, why they need to write checks, why they need to sit on community boards and on nonprofit boards. I think that it's incumbent on every business person to be involved, and for my future vision for this region in philanthropy, every business would be involved.
I have lived in Sacramento all my life, and I really enjoy being involved in the community. I want to help make it a better place for not only for my family and hoping all my children end up here and with their families, but just to make it a better place to work, live, and play. So I got involved with JDRF because I've seen firsthand how it can affect young people and their families. We have some dear friends who have a daughter, Delaney, who when she was in 5th grade started having all kinds of different problems, and they spent almost a year finally diagnosing what was going on. She missed over half the days of school that year. And I saw what a struggle and heartache it was for the family going through test after test after test and not knowing what was going on. And she was losing weight, she was very sick. And finally, on her 12th birthday, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and her blood sugar levels were over 800, and they ended up putting her in the hospital for 3 days. While it was a devastating diagnosis, it was such a relief to them to finally know what was going on and being able to start looking at treatments. So I like to do what I can to help raise funds for JDRF. I think the research that's going on right now is groundbreaking. I was really excited to hear from some of the experts recently about some of the new treatments that are becoming available that can be life-changing for some of these patients. I'd like to see philanthropy really grow in the Sacramento region. I think that we're at a tipping point in Sacramento. There are a lot of great community leaders that are working really hard to make Sacramento a better place to live, work, and play. We need to get more involvement from the younger people, and I think we're seeing that happen now. We're seeing those 20 and 30-something young professionals really get actively involved, and I think that is the key to really getting it over the top.
My motivation for getting involved in philanthropy really started with the example set by my parents. They were always involved in the church, in community, so I think that it was just instilled in me, and if I don't do it, who is going to do it if we all say no? I'm very lucky to be a partner at Moss Adams, because one of the things that we really believe in is giving back to the community. We are setting an example for our employees, it gives our employees something to feel good about. I think it's really important that companies are involved in philanthropic organizations because it is a win-win for everyone. My connection with JDRF is my older sister, when she was 18 months, was my parents found out she had type 1 diabetes. When she was, I think, about 47, she had a kidney transplant, and that afternoon she had a heart attack and had heart surgery. A couple months later had some more heart surgery, and that was, I think, 12 years ago. 2 years ago she had a 5-way bypass and still has challenges and health issues that affect not just her but her whole family. She has 2 sons that have type 1 diabetes, so that's my connection. I've been involved in JDRF for about 6 or 7 years. I've been on the board 4 or 5 years. The reason that I'm on the board, of course, is because of my sister and what I have seen that diabetes does to not only the person that has type 1 diabetes, but also to the families. I think that the work that JDRF does is so important because without it, we wouldn't have somebody advocating to raise money through government, raising money from donations to find a cure. And it is just amazing what they do. One of the things that they do is the bags of hope that give parents information, and they so need that when they first find out. They're watching their child and they feel helpless. And JDRF is there to be by their side and support them. Not only find a cure, but until we find a cure, find ways to make the lives of those with diabetes and their families much better.
You know, we just love this town and the wonderful gifts that it's brought to us in our business, but also the wonderful people we've met. And it was just very natural for us from a giving perspective to entertain the opportunity to make donations to the services that we could provide and, you know, donate to the various organizations. Our grandson, Joseph, was diagnosed at age 3.5. He'll be 6 next month in May, and when he was diagnosed with type 1, you know, it took us all back a bit, and I wasn't knowledgeable about type 1 diabetes, and so our son and daughter-in-law, amazing, they have been such an advocate for their son, and Joseph is a vibrant, wonderful, loving, you know, little boy. And he has, it's amazing, you know, his stamina and his courage and his strength in dealing with this. And so consequently, you know, we just all dived in as a family to do whatever we could, you know, to help in finding a cure, and we will find a cure. You know, as we're all working very hard towards a cure, the advances in managing and heading off any disaster with these tools is extremely impressive. And the donations that we work hard to, in our fundraising efforts to bring to JDRF, and the research that I've read about and learned about through Anthony and Alicia, it's just absolutely amazing and impressive, and it's ongoing. It's every time, you know, I hear something new or I see something, I'll say, "What is that? What does that do?" And it's just really been exciting to see how you can manage the safety of your child and loved one. And I think one of the greatest blessings and benefits that JDRF offers to people who could at any time, you know, be hit with something like this in their family is the education and the support and how to manage that. That is invaluable. And I've seen that come from JDRF, and I've seen the interest and the help and the support, and it's just been tremendous for our family. And I hope and believe that will continue, and through the kind and generous donations of the people donating to this cause, we'll be able to help other families down the road too. Well, again, the love that we have for Sacramento and the wonderful friendships that I've established through the efforts of being involved and giving back through the nonprofits, and I feel that is the best way to nurture and grow the soul of Sacramento. Be advocates for what's close to your heart and what's important to you, and what you get back in return is tenfold.